しゃる通りです。
だから言ったろ、あいつらは信じてくれなかった。うらいや、さあどうよ。ほら
オーケストラの新作アルバム出てないかしら。料理するときは音楽をいろいろと変えてみるの。インスピレーションが湧いてバリエーション豊かな料理が作れるから。
悪くない芽が出たわ。今日も引き続きサボ
俺の
りましょう。
背中にメルジーヌが書いた
調
ステッ
子が良くなっ
カーが貼ってて
から
あったら
仕事を一気に終わらせるわよ。
剥がしてくれるかい？
開幕だ。光り輝くがいい。はあ、光よ。一緒じゃない。そら。
私は下げず
世界を熱狂の渦に。はあ、
それ少し
ガンのように羽ばたきをたたえよう。はあ、せい、歌え、僕の名のもとに。
この舞台に心震わすラスト
やっほん
それいや
昆虫は本能的に光を追うが、人間も同じだ。希望という名の光を追っている。
I mean, you're level 71, dude. Like, to be fair, it doesn't really matter. Actually, just, like, honestly, having her being dog shit is irrelevant. Because as long as she doesn't die, which is the problem here, she has to not die. Swap to the fucking DPS mode, dipshit! We need to do elemental damage! Jesus Christ, you're fucking awesome. So we could have fucking done it if you didn't fucking be in heal mode the entire time. Oh my god, he died? Are you fucking kidding me? How do you die? God, fuck off, you fucking... And then the fucking 90 died. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude. You're level fucking 90. How did you die like a little fucking bitch? Maybe that's why fucking Fiorina wasted her time fucking healing. Because you're so fucking trash, you fucking died. Jesus, fuck. And I was worried that fucking level 71 would die. Because I'm like, yeah, you know, level 71, sure. You know? Not that, like, they're not unskilled. Just by being level 71, you just don't have the HP that level 90 would have. HP and defense would just give you a little more security. But no! The fucking level 90 fucking person died. Like a fucking idiot. Who's gonna be every... Maybe Electro? Fuck it. If he wants to be Electro, I'll just do this. No, honestly, you could still be, what was she again? You could still be Navia. Now, see, it's obviously RC. RC is the kind of piece of shit who's a little 84 star. It's like, yeah, you're a fucking 4-star, and you're gonna be, no, I want to lock in my level 84 star. That'll be fucking useful. DPS, no, fucking support, and a shit one at that. It's just like great. It's like great, awesome. Thanks, fucking selfish piece of shit. Thank you for deciding that you want to be the worst fucking, one of the worst characters in the game. Now, okay, so it looks like they built in DPS though. And why did you use your skill at that point? Why did you use your skill? I mean, she had her burst up, so maybe that was it. You can well, the problem is, like, you're refreshing your jellyfish where you put it. You're not refreshing your jellyfish where you are, just where you put it. Oh shit, actually, that was another one of those forms. Actually, that was my bad. I did what I criticized the other guy doing, not being in heal mode while we need to do elemental damage. But I wasn't paying attention. I knew our ad. So we actually did skip that ad phase completely. Like, he's not terrible, but he's just not great either. So let's top one off. Everyone's healed. Cool. Let's go back and do it. Yes. I mean, I could have probably been someone else. Like, Jillian might have been a better choice if we have a proper healer, but I thought we need the actual boost. don't know why you use your burst in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Actually, to be fair, I did too. I didn't realize he'd gone for that long. I was like, I'll do my burst now, and I actually didn't need to do my burst. I thought it was just like, oh, he's gonna swipe through once or twice, but no, he Anyway, but still, even that was better because we both had two healers keeping everyone alive, and they built their Baressa pretty well. But still, Jesus Christ, that Neuvillette, how the fuck did the Neuvillette die so quickly? Like, you died before level 71 Mavica. Like, you are such fucking, like, dude, and you do realize you were our DPS, right? Like, we had two, potential DPS. It was the level 90 Neuvillette and the level 71 Mavica. Mavica was just mostly there just to trigger reactions. We just needed her to stay alive so she could trigger pyro reactions, and that's it. You were still our mainline DPS. And you die like a bitch in the first, 30 seconds. It's like, dude. Like, what, did you want to prove that Mavica is not so bad? Like, you wanted to prove that level 70 Mavica could do well, so you suck so fucking hard? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it goes to show you, right? So you think, oh, level 71 Mavica, like, that's the weak link. And it's like, yeah, it's a weaker link. Like, statistically, yeah, of course. Level 71 Mavica is just more prone to death. So you have to have their healers be really on ball, and they have to be really skilled to make sure that they don't take too many hits back to back. That's basically it. Is he waiting? Oh, no, fuck? Yeah, is he waiting for the fourth? Or does he want to just go with the two of us? Or the three of us, really? I mean, we could do it at three. It's not, super hard. But that is the thing. Is that the first player can do this shit, right? Because, Furina is an off-field Hydro applicator. You don't really need her on field. So she provides the support. You're gonna be careful, because there we go. Gotta heal. Yeah. So basically, you just gotta make sure that when she's doing Bond of Life shit, that you make sure you have your healer out. Oh fuck! Get out! There we go. Yeah, I almost died. Yeah, you just gotta make sure, as a healer, you keep your Bond of Life. You make sure when the Bond of Life thing goes back and it gives you that warning, oh, you gotta do a charge attack, you make sure, as a healer, that you're in healing mode. Because you need to get rid of that Bond of Life. I'm pretty sure, it really feels like, that if you get hit by Arlecchino, when you have any Bond of Life, regardless of what your health is, it feels like you just instantly die. Now, maybe that's not the case. Maybe... But it feels like she does, bonus damage. Maybe if you have enough health, you won't instantly die, but it will take you, it will, remove, 75% of your health. It will do, 10,000, 15,000 damage, which for most people, they don't have that much health. And that means if they're not fully topped off, they might just die from that. And that could be it, right? It could be just that simple. It could be that. Yeah, if you it could be that, yeah, if you take too much damage. See, that's a little too soon. This guy just literally joined. He joined. And realistically, he could still be Fire Travel if he wants to. Not the best choice. Fire Travel is not. Oh wow, okay, that's a really good choice. What? Why? What? Why? Why? You went from a fucking melt team to a freeze team with no people who can buff freeze at all? Why the fuck did you pick that? Mulaney needs a fucking reaction! Oh shit, I said it to the wrong person. I said it to my previous friend. That is fucking stupid. I think by default it should always be the person. You should always by default be the team you're currently in. Right? Like, why would you pick? Why would you be like, hey, I know who you want to talk to? You just logged in? You clearly want to talk to the friend you were talking to yesterday, not the current co-op team you're in. No, of course. Like, really stupid. But yeah, but basically I was just trying to say, yeah, it was a shit choice. It's like, dude, we had a good team. Like, this is why I find, like, ridiculously stupid sometimes. You just get these people who are so fucking dumb. Like, we're in a perfect team. We're in a team that's absolutely fucking perfect. We made a team around having a Mavuka. That's why we fucking had a Ganyu. That's why she swapped to Mulaney. Because it's like, oh, okay, well, we have a Ganyu? I mean, we have a Mavuka? Cool. We can vaporize. You know, the main way fucking... We can vaporize, you know, the main way that Mulaney does damage. Mulaney does damage from vapes. That's how she does damage. That's where your damage comes from. It is from vaporizes. And you're like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swap off. So our only reaction is freeze. Like, what? And she's like, whoops. And like, look at this. She swapped to a Furina that doesn't even have Furina's weapon. But, I mean, okay, to be fair, the guy did apologize. The guy did say, oops. It happens. I've definitely seen that. Maybe they're trying to swap someone who's right next to Furina. So they selected it and then pressed triangle. Or selected it and realized their mistake. Oh shit, I need to go back and select my character. And there are some kind of... Okay. There are some instances... There are some instances where that happens, right? Like, because if you go into here, as you can see, triangle's quick setup. The triangle is confirm, right? So you might think, oh, maybe they're just meant to do this, because like typically, I don't really like go one person at a time, press X, and then find another person. I usually press triangle to sort them, because one, it allows you to sort party order and, you know, sort more than one member at a time. So it's definitely more useful. So it could be that they selected Furina and they were like, oh shit, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Although to be, like, fair, it's really hard to pick. That's uncertain. Maybe they wanted to do Arlecchino. Arlecchino would be right below Furina. Although it's hard to say because I don't have some of the Fontaine nails. And these are like my favorites are moved up, so I'm not sure what it'd be like if they had no favorites. So the order of party members would be different. But yeah, it could be something like that. Oh, they meant to do Arlecchino, but they didn't go far down enough. Press Fury, and they're like, oh shit, I need to press Triangle to go back into Quick Party Sort to swap again, forgetting that in co-op, Triangle is the confirmation button. And with all of us confirmed, it would instantly go into it. So realistically, if any one of us had not done that, 50. Okay, so I don't have enough to do that. One sec. I'll be right back. So I get it, right? As I said, I'm back. So, like, while I might be harsh, like, I'm not super critical. Like, it's not like I was super critical against the new Valette who died like a little bitch. And I was kind of annoyed by the Auron who wanted to go in. Like, he was not, I don't think he was max level, I think he was level 80. So he wasn't even Final Ascension. Which, Final Ascension doesn't matter too much, because you can at least get your skills up to like level 8, I believe. And then just your final 80 to 90 Ascension allows you to cap your skills at 9 and 10. So, not a huge difference. And, and he did have the Skyward Harp, which is a DPS bow. So it could have been that he actually did build him for DPS. So that's whatever, right? And he didn't die, although we had 2 healers keeping him alive, I believe. So, at the end of the day, he performed better than a new Valette. Now, new Valette does have the added issue that that new Valette does drain his health. So he can drain his health below 50%, which is, obviously an issue sometimes. See how much I can get. Stop that. Yeah, not super caring about the. I only have enough to do one run, so I don't care too much about my DPS or my energy. Normally, if I was going to spend a bunch of resin on this, I might have considered getting a few more skills in to top off their energy so they'd be ready for another run immediately after this. Didn't really see the need to. But anyway. So yeah, And normally, like, yeah, that would just suck, right? Again, I was annoyed when they swapped to a freeze, swapped last minute to a freeze team.
実況の依頼
And I'd be even more annoyed if, because like,
星と親友を
but like once I saw that he,
ようこそ
I mean, he did say sorry, but like he did then say get sorry again at the end. So I'm like, okay, he actually is serious, right? Like it's not just some random thing. It's not just some random thing. He did make a mistake, and that happens. It's like, okay. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It was a mistake. But like the problem is, it's hard to tell because you will get people who honestly do that shit, and, like as a not mistake. They're like, oh yeah, let's do this. It's like, what? Why? We had a good team. Like we had a team that worked. We had a vape team. Why did you swap? Like, it's the kind of thing where like the first player pops in, right? And they're like, I'm going to be this character. I'm like, okay. And all the remaining three of us, swap our characters around to work around what player one picked. We're like, oh, okay, you picked Mavaga? Okay, let's bring in some Hydro. Let's go Vape. Or maybe let's bring in some Cryo and let's do some Melts. And I've seen multiple times before where after the party's like decided, after everyone picks their character, right? Everyone's picked their character. We have a good party comp. It's like, oh my god, like if your character works well together, cool, great. Let's go in, and then one other player after, like, and this is after everyone's done. Like everyone's, in green or in triple dot, which means they are not looking at a character. Now, to be fair, if you're in triple dot, you're kind of waiting to see where everyone else goes, and then ideally, what you should do is you should pick a character that complements the rest. But I've seen characters who, after the party's been picked, after all four characters have been picked, and all four characters work really well together, I've seen instances where one party member says, oh, okay, I want to swap to this, which does not work at all with anybody. Which is like, why do you pick that, right? Like, you get a team of, like, Hydro and Pyro, and they're like, okay, we have a Vape team going. And maybe their character was naturally good, a good Vapor, right? You're like, yeah, sure, like, they were Hydro or Pyro themselves, but then they swapped to Dendro. It's like, what? Why? We don't need Dendro. Dendro doesn't work with Hydro or Pyro. Like, Dendro doesn't work with this shit. Why are you doing this? Or we have, like, a Chaska. And it's like, okay, Chaska needs Petch elements. And then they swap to Geo or Dendro. And it's like, why? Why? That's, like, one of the only elements. Or another Anemo. And it's like, there are three elements that just do not work with Chaska. Why would you select one of them? Like, we already have an Anemo. We don't need another Anemo. We don't need a Geo. Now, the only exception you could argue is Shillinen. I think Shillinen brings enough buffs and utility that losing one Petch element for Chaska, for her gun, is made up for in Jillin's utility, but it's never like that. I mean, even then, I'd be like, okay, whatever, it's a Jillin, that's fine. But you could get them to swap to a Dendro, it's like, why? Like, especially when, like, so basically you're guaranteed not to react with Chaska, but then, like, when the other Petch elements are, like, Cryo, Hydro, or Pyro, it's like, only one of the Petch elements Dendro actually really does well with is Electro, and you get them swapping to Dendro when there are no Electro in the party. It's why? Like, we had a party. The party of 4 was good. Why would you swap off of a good party to bring in your shit character that doesn't react well with anybody? So yeah, that does suck. It happens. These are like unrepentant assholes who are just like, no, I don't want to be. Like, I'm stupid. I want to pick the character I like, and fuck over the team. Because fuck you guys. It's like it's just like, why are you even co-op if you don't want to cooperate, right? So there is that. But this dude, clearly a mistake, right? He said oops right from the start, so he understood. Because you get some people who just don't say it ever. And they're just like, oh no, I think I'm doing something. What do you mean? Because like, you get people, you're like, if you try to say, oh, Dendro doesn't, like, Dendro is shit, Dendro is only good with Electro, they'll bring up the fact that you can react Dendro with Pyro and Hydro. It's like, yeah. But Dendro, Pyro, Dendro, Hydro are shit reactions. They do so little damage. They do very little damage. Their only purpose is to keep Pyro alive on a character. So essentially, because if you do Burgeon, which is a Dendro Pyro reactor, you'll trigger a little fire dot on the enemy, which does no damage whatsoever. Like, the damage is so minimal, it is useless. But the purpose of it is to essentially keep fire alive on the target, so that if you do that, you can swap to. So it's good when you're solo, because you can get a Virgin on them and then swap to a Cryo or Hydro character, and they'll keep fire on them for a little bit to allow you to trigger a few reactions, a few melts or a few vaporizes, and so it's a good pyro applicator if you don't have a good pyro applicator on the team, or your pyro applicator only applies pyro so many times and you want to keep make sure pyro is up consistently for a duration. If you have pyro and dendro applications, you'll be able to keep Virgin alive and fire alive on the characters in between reactions and stuff. So that's the purpose. And dendro hydro is actually even worse, because you do these little cores, and the cores take a long time to explode. They're at a location, right? So they take a long time to explode, which means the enemy usually moves away. But even if you position yourself so that you stay close, it does very minimal damage. Like after 10 seconds, it explodes and does 1,000 damage. And it's just 1 second of auto attacks does more than 1,000 damage, right? So it's just it's dog shit. It's bad. Now, you can think of it as extra dendro application. Sure, you just litter a bunch of cores around, and when they explode, they apply dendro. But again, dendro only really, really reacts well with electro. And if an electro attack hits a dendro core, the core explodes or whatever, and then shoots a heat-seeking dendro missile from the core that does even more damage. The point is that electro is what does damage with dendro. Dendro very, very much works well with electro. And so when you get people being oh, well, we have a party of fire and party of water, I'm going to be dendro. It's you're useless. You're useless. Being literally any other element would be better. It's simply because if you choose to do that as a dendro, you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to try to do all my damage without any reactions. Because even though you're doing Virgin, maybe, or Hyperbloom, you're not doing, you're creating the blue Hyperbloom cores, you're not doing any actual damage with that. The reactions themselves don't do much damage, so most of your damage has to come from you. Whereas, for vape teams, it's your vaporizes get a 1.5 modifier. If they have pyro on them and you trigger a water reaction, your water reaction vaporizes at 1.5 times the damage it would have done otherwise. That's a huge boost. Melts get a 1.25 or something like that, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe melts get more. I forget. Either way, the point is that that because there are these two elements that work well with each other, and if you can constantly apply, fire and hydro, both teams, both sides, will be applying vaporizes. If you have a Nuvolette and a Mavica, or Dea in burst mode, every single one of their hits is going to, vaporize, kind of. There's an internal cooldown for that shit, but, basically, most of their hits, a lot of their hits will vaporize. Nuvolette will vaporize off fire, and Dea, Mavica will vaporize off of the other person's water. So their damage gets that big bonus every few seconds. Every second they're getting a big damage modifier. So it's just if you want to be dendro, you're just saying, oh well, if you want to be dendro without an electro, you're just I want to do all my damage. And there are some characters that are DPS, we have Kinich, we have I'll hate them. But again, their damage isn't amazing because they need electro. That's the whole point. That's the reason why dendro exists, essentially, was to bring electro back into the scene. Because electro was shit before in 1.0. Electro is terrible. It's just so little damage. We didn't have many electro characters too, but yeah, it just wasn't super good. Because electro conducted barely any damage, and superconduct was kind of useful back in the day, because it was a time where when you're leveling up your characters to 90, you didn't have your energy because you had to be adventure rank 35 or 40 to guarantee 5-star artifacts. Now you could have gotten 4-star artifacts. The 4-star artifacts on set would still give you the set bonus. But like, what gives you energy recharge, what gives you a lot of energy recharge, are two things. A fully leveled energy recharge stands. Oh, wait. Yeah, so at level 20, it's 51% energy recharge. But 4 stars can only get to plus 16, and even if you compare a plus 16 5-star with a plus 16 4-star, the energy recharge on the 5-star is going to be better. So basically, even if you did get a set, that could, like, even if you did get a energy recharge goblet or sand, it still wouldn't be amazing. Because one, and you also have less substat rolls. Because 4 stars would only have between 2 and 3 substats, which means if you only had 2, you'd have to roll twice just to fill out the 4 substats. So 2 of your total 4, because you can only go to plus 16, so you only get 4 chances to roll substats. If you started with 2 of your 4 substats would be just filling out the 4 substats. Hello. And then so only the remaining 2 could actually go to boosting another existing substat. And I still think the substats also are worse than the 5-star. So it was rough back in the day. In 1.0, so Superconduct actually mattered a little bit more because reducing physical resistance was helpful because you never had your energy up, or you didn't have your energy up enough, so that you would end up having to do a lot of physical damage because you'd have to be just doing basic attacks until your skill came off cooldown, or you can do your skill or swap around your skills. And so Superconduct was actually kind of useful back in the day. But then once everyone got to level 90, yeah. It like, to be fair, it was tedious on 2 levels. Mostly because like you were leveling up. So like you were relatively low level, but then we just couldn't level up artifacts. Like we couldn't even get 5-star artifacts. So we couldn't even get this like 51% energy recharge from a plus 20 artifact. And then weapons, you couldn't level up to max either. So even though the Favonius is a really good sword, where are you, Favonius? There we go. So even though R5 is irrelevant, but even though a level 90 sword, like only at level 90 do you get that 61% energy recharge. If you were like, just starting out, you'd only have the sword at level like 40 or whatever. And so unleveled one, I think I have so at level 20, it's only 23%. So it might go up to like 30 by level 40 or something like that. So it's just like, you had so little energy. You didn't have energy from artifacts because your main stat wouldn't give you that much, and you didn't have many substat rolls to go for, and so it was very unlikely to actually have a big pile of energy regen artifacts. So it was tough. But yeah, I was basically just talking about how like Electro kind of sucked back in the day. Electro kind of sucked, and Dendro kind of revitalized Electro, because like Electro had utility in 1.0 because of Superconduct. And Superconduct had value because you were reducing physical resistances, and that's what your basic auto attacks usually were. So I could have a Raiden do a Superconduct, and now all of a sudden her basic attacks that she has to do when she's in between her burst could actually do some damage. Yeah. And like, we didn't really have that many Electro units to begin with. They honestly didn't introduce too many. Like, we only had the basic starters, and then we got Raiden and Sarah, and I think Kuki, I can't remember when Kuki came out. I think she did come out during Inazuma time, not afterwards. And Doria is obviously Sumeru, yeah. Yeah, like we had Keqing and Fischl. Keqing, Fischl, Beidou were like the starters, and that was it. But that was still, I guess, technically before Sumeru, but barely before. Like the patch before or something like that. So we just didn't have, yes, technically we had Razor, but Razor was actually more physical. He did more physical damage than actual Electro. Oh, and Lisa, yes, I keep forgetting about Lisa because I never used her. And like Lisa and Beidou are like heavily reliant on their burst, which has made them really rough to use because you just could never get their burst up because they have such huge energy costs. And so when you can't get plus 620 5-star artifacts, so you can't get good energy recharge on them, they were just rough. Fischl was just like Visual is pretty much the go-to for Electro. My favorite? I would say, that's a toughie. I would say it's, I mean, this is kind of like the team I use of my most favorites, and Zhongli is just there to provide shield. That's it. But I really like Eula. I think she's super hot. I think Gani's really cute, and I really like Jean too. But, you know, there are other characters I like. Like, I like Raiden. Like, Raiden's really good. I think Yelan's pretty hot. Oh yeah, Shilinen. I think I like Raiden, Shilinen. I like Deia's design and playstyle, but she's kind of weak. Well, that was my friendship party. This is my friendship party, so I'm leveling up friendship with Escoffier. Yeah, this is tried to make this team work, but goddamn, I'm not built very well for this. I was gonna try Big Iron. I'm really using that much. This is my meme team, trying to get Aloy to work. I need to actually build her though. That's kind of a back project. Maybe at some point. Oh yeah, this is my other meme party where I'll do one to make Amber work. Yeah, I mean, it's not super hard. Like, if you have the materials for her, it's not like super hard to. Did I get money? Money? No, not enough money. It's not super hard. Like, if you had the money and the level up materials, like beating the elite monster is not like that hard to do, because that's really like the main restriction. And because she is a Fontanian, you might already have all the. I see. But like, I mean, not necessarily pre-farm, but like if you already had, if you already had her, if you already have like the Mora and the experience books, like those are the things that like if you don't have any of those take a while to farm. But if you already had a pile of those, yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, the thing is because she's one of the few healers that scales with attack. I mean, and a 5-star one of that. And so because she scales off attack, that means like she actually having her do like crit damage and stuff is really helpful. Because she actually does a lot of damage. Her skill does a lot of damage. Like this just boosts. So the fact that she, Arlecchino just looks really cool with her signature weapon. And like this thing, it's like this is a so like this weapon, one, has crit damage as a substat, is the main substat, which is amazing, and two, boosts her attack, which means boosts her healing and damage. And then when she heals, she boosts the on-field attacker's attack. So that's also super useful because pretty much every cryo and pyro DPS, actually no. Well, all cryo DPS are attack scaling. But yeah, she works with cryo and hydro. Fortunately, most hydro characters scale off HP, so that it's not going to boost damage. But I don't really run Abyss. I got the floor. I beat floor 12, and that was it. I'm like, cool. I beat floor 12. I got the achievement. I got the name card. I'm done. Because like Abyss is like, I don't know. I never really liked time trials ever. I don't like being restricted on time. And like the only reward is just like artifacts, which I could just farm an artifact domain for. Or and like you get some primos, sure, but like not that many primos. And so it's just like it's not really worth the hassle. And I just don't like time trials. I just don't. It's not fun because like to get like maximum primos, you have to get like 12. You have to get 3-star, floor 12. Yeah. And like to be fair, I really should just at the very least do like floor 11 because getting 3-star in floor 11 is not super difficult. I really, really should, but I'm also lazy. Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is just the fact that it was like it used to be like every 2 weeks, and it was just at a weird time. So I would never like pay attention to it, and so it was like, oh yeah, whoops, I missed it. Like I should have done it. I missed it. Like I'm better at doing like things that are weekly. You know, like so like for Zenless Zone Zero, the Hollow Zero thing is every week. So it's like, oh, okay, you just gotta find a time during the week. Divergent Universe and Honkai Star Rail, just gotta do it every single week.
どうやらまた新たな変数が現れたようだ
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that Escoffier is a really, really good support. And so as long as you just gotta swap her on, use her skill, use her burst, and get her the fuck off. And that's it. I actually like theater more. Kinda. Like, I do theater, and the reason why I like it is because of the unique rewards. So like, if the say which ones I have or don't have. But yeah, like I like the Echoes. The Echoes look super cool. And if Spiral Abyss did something like this, even if it didn't provide primos, I would do it. And that's why I do Imaginarium. I got pretty much all of them but two. Over there. I got go to. I haven't done this week's or this month's yet. I'm such a slacker. That's another reason why I keep fucking up. Even if I want to do Spiral Abyss, I just keep forgetting. Because usually it's like, oh shit, it's at the end of the month, I gotta do my Imaginarium quick. And so I rush in to do it. But I mainly do it for this. So I have all of them, with the exception of Diluc and Chi-Chi. But I have two keys. I could get one of these two. But I'm kind of waiting, because obviously there's going to be a new patch in a few weeks. In 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And the new patch might have new Envision Echoes, and Chi-Chi's all well and good, but like I don't really use her that much, and I quite literally never use Diluc. So it's like I don't want to use up one of my keys, and then them pop up with like, oh, here's the 2 new characters that are going to have Envisioned Echoes, and they're like, oh my god, I love those characters, and not have keys to get them. So this month I'll get another 2 keys, so I'll have 4 keys, and then I'll wait and see who the next 2 Envisioned Echo people are. But yeah, I really like that. And so that's why I do that. It's because they just look so cool. I mean, I never used Diluc, ever. But he's still level 90. Has a Gravestone. And is C6. And I never use him. But I've been playing since the start of the game. So I've just unfortunately lost my 50-50 way too many times for him. In fact, I even pulled him again after I got him C6. So essentially I would have had a C7 Diluc, which really pisses me off. Because he's the only one. I have another one at C6 too. It's Mona? Yeah, Mona. But like all the other ones aren't. So it's like it does suck. Because like what they give you is just like, oh, you've maxed out the character? Okay. Here's 25 of the Star Glitter. You can get half a 10 pull. Yeah, you wasted 90 pulls? Okay, cool. Here's half a 10 pull. That clearly makes up for it. I can't because I don't have Genyun. And like Genyun is a really good plunge buffer. And like I built him. Like he's not like terrible. Like his crit rate kind of sucks. And the crit damage is actually kind of shit too. But it's mainly because it's just really a pain in the ass to farm relics. I mean, 12% crit rate is actually pretty good. I just don't like Venti that much. Although I do use Venti in Imaginarium because he's really good at grouping. And the grouping is really helpful in Imaginarium. Sometimes in Spiral Abyss too. But yeah, I just don't like him. Like I just don't like his character that much, so I never really want to use him. Actually, these aren't too terrible. Well, actually, this is absolute dog shit. This needs to be replaced. Jesus, that's absolutely shit. But anyway, he's not like too terrible, but I just don't like him. It's not like him in a playstyle, it's just a character. I just don't like his character. I mean, there's another character I hate even more. Who I never level. I only got him to 20 and ascended him just for the free pull. Although I kind of regret that. I kind of wish I'd just left him at level 1. Just as a meme. Yeah, he has the festering desire. Even Amber I built. But I only built Amber because I was pulling for a weapon for another character, and I got Linny's bow instead. And even though that's good on, I think, Ganyu, I think it works pretty well on Ganyu, because the charge attack bonus and crit damage is good, and either speed or crit or attack is generally good. It just doesn't really look good on Ganyu, because it's like pink and red, and Ganyu is just all blue. So it just looks terrible on Ganyu. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just give it to Amber then, and I'll actually build Amber. Just for fun, just as a meme. So I gave her DPS charge shot bow. I also had a bunch of these Wanderer's Troop relics or artifacts because, like, you know, if you've been playing the game for a while, you just get a pile of these. So I'm like, yeah, let's give it a shot. So 69% crit rate, 155 crit damage, pretty good. Energy recharge is a little low, but still not terrible. 2100 attack is pretty good for a 4-star. With 120 element mastery, still, she wouldn't be terrible. Well, I mean, if she was any other character, she'd actually be good. But because she's Amber, she's okay. Because everything about her kit is just trash. It's just, like, so bad. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't really help, because who gives a shit? Like, this is like, oh, cool. Aim shot will detonate it manually. Awesome. Doesn't improve the damage. Like, if this was aim shot detonated manually, actually, no, I guess it never matter. And it does increase its damage by 200%, but the damage is so shit, it doesn't really matter. And then it just, like, decreases cooldown, and adding a charge, it's like, okay. It would be nice if they increased the damage again. And this is like, okay, it's fine as a buff. Movement speed and attack percent, that's fine. 10 seconds is a little short, but I think her talent, I think that makes this 12 seconds. So it's essentially almost 100% uptime. It would have been nice if they just made it 12 seconds, so you have literally 100% uptime, but yeah, mostly as a meme, but yeah, like, it's because Imaginarium 1 is only once a month, although to be fair, they did also change Spiral Abyss to do that as well. Yeah, Ganyu's thing is just so pretty. So Spiral Abyss is once a month now, so I could do it. I just keep forgetting. And I should. At the very least, I should do up to floor 11, because I've never really had super huge issues on floor 11. Like, usually just being strong enough, having a good party comp is enough. I mean, it's not like I couldn't clear floor 12, but I don't know. I just conceptually really dislike being timed for anything. I just don't like feeling like I'm in a rush. Even if I have, like, a party comp that can clear it in no time, even if I have a party comp where I'm like, yeah, I'm not really, like, I'll easily clear it within, like, 2 minutes, even though it may be easy. I just really hate having a ticking clock above my head. It just ruins the fun for me. Like, I just don't like feeling that. I just don't like feeling rushed. That's basically it. Like, and no matter what it is, I just don't like it. Whereas Spiral Abyss, I mean, technically Imaginarium also has a timer, but I think the reason why Imaginarium doesn't feel as bad to me is because whereas Spiral Abyss has two sides of the room, right? So it's like you have one timer for 2 sides of the room. So you don't know how well you're doing just for the first half, right? Like, you can be like, oh, cool, the first half I did really well. I absolutely crushed it. But then because you can't use the players in the first half as the second half, you don't know how well you're going to do in the second half. And so it could be like, oh yeah, your first half did really well, but your second half sucked, and you weren't able to get 3 stars because your second half sucked too much. And then you're like, well, shit. Like, the reason why first half did so well is because I had this character that would normally be in the second half team. And so it's like all that shit, where it's like, you could do really well, and you think, cool, I did really well in the first half. And the second half sucks, and you're like, well, I have to redo it all. I have to do both first and second half again. And that's just like, oh, it sucks. Whereas Imaginarium is like, nah, you have a goal. And it's usually shorter, too. So rather than, because like each half takes about the same amount. Like you could argue each half takes about like a minute, right? As long as you clear each half within a minute, you're good. But that basically means you have to clear both. You have to clear 2 minutes worth of content, and you have to be successful in both to get like max rewards. Whereas Imaginarium is simply just like, no, you only have to do one half at a time. You only have to do like a minute's worth of battle every time. So it's like it's a minute worth of battle for 10 battles, and that's it. Whereas, Spiral Abyss now is not as bad because you don't have to do floors 9 and 10 anymore. You can skip ahead. But before, when you had to do all of them, that's 3 rooms for 4 floors. So that's 12. That's 12 rooms total, and then each one's split into halves. So those 12 rooms becomes 24 battles. And now they halved it, sure, but it's still 12 battles. You know, it's now just 6 rooms with, sides A and B for every single one of those 6. So doubling that, so it's 12. So you still do more battles, and the problem is that these battles are paired. So you can be good in floor side A, but if side B sucks, you don't get full rewards. So you can still be punished. And whereas Imaginarium is like, no. You can do you can get that. You can get the star, or you can get the flower bloom. You can get the flower bloom in first floor, and if you don't get it in the second floor, you can just redo the second floor, and that's it. And before, and back in the day, you didn't even really need those flowers. Now they're changing it, so now if you can get 9 flowers, you get an extra artifact potion. So you're kind of more encouraged to do it now, but. Even still, if you don't get a flower, you can just redo it. Redo it for the flower. So, it's just, generally, it's faster, it's shorter paced battles, they're unrelated to each other, so you can just, you only have to work hard on the one battle, and then you can move on to the next. You don't have to redo, not getting the flower on the second battle of Imaginarium doesn't mean you have to go back to the first and do it again, So, just generally the structure and the faster pacing. The faster pacing in general of everything is just better. The only benefit with Spiral Abyss is that if you have a lot of characters, you're not super restricted on party comp. So you can just be like, yeah, you pick a party comp for side A, pick a party comp for side B, and you could use those 8 characters for the entire thing. So if you're really good at certain characters, you just design parties around them and then just have those 2 parties be it. Whereas in Imaginarium, because they have stamina, you have to, 1, have a lot more characters built, which is not a huge issue for me since I've been playing since the game started. But 2, you have to use those characters. And that's why I got Venti at the start of the game, and I used him a little bit in early traversal because of his updraft, but then basically never used him again. Right? I just stopped using him. Once I had explored Leeway, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take him out of my party because I don't need him anymore. I've unlocked all the teleports, so usually I can just, if I need to get anywhere, I can just go to a teleport and then just glide to where I need to go. And I don't need Venti for that. And then, I just never used him. Because in battle, he was not super helpful. Because again, at the early levels, you just never had your burst up. And that was where his utility came from, mostly just his burst. So, if you can't have the energy recharge to keep his burst up constantly, it's not super helpful. So, yeah, but I use him a lot in Spiral Abyss, or not Spiral Abyss, in Imaginarium, because not every single thing is a boss, and so he's very useful in those random mob enemies. So, and even though I did say I don't use Diluc, I don't use him ever outside of Imaginarium. There have been 1 or 2 times where I've used him in Imaginarium, simply because he is built, and I need to fill out the 20 characters to get the maximum buff, so I'll throw him in sometime. But yeah, but generally I've used Venti far more than I've used Diluc. Even simply just since Imaginarium. I use him obviously more outside of battle at the very beginning of the game, and never used Diluc. And even in Imaginarium Theater alone, I'm still using Venti more. So, it just, yeah, I just like Imaginarium a little better. And the fact that it was once a month. Now, Spiral Abyss is now also once a month, just starting at the middle point of the month, with Imaginarium starting at the beginning. So it's not as strenuous for Spiral Abyss, since you only have to do it once a month. But even still, I just prefer Imaginarium better. And the fact that it gives Envision Echoes, which look really cool, adds a little extra thing. Like, it'd be nice if they did something like that for Spiral Abyss too. But like, the main draw of Spiral Abyss is just the Primos. So it's like, oh, well, we give you Primos. That's all you really need, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I'd rather just have the Envision Echoes. I'm gonna waste my time and effort on this. I'd rather get something that looks cool. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. I've been slacking off a little bit. I did my weekly bosses, so I'm all done. Well, I've done all the weekly bosses I can do since I ran out of resin. I usually spend the first few days of the week spending my resin on the Challenge to main bosses, and then I spend my resin on other things like money and other stuff to level my characters, because I do try to level them all. I do try to level all my characters. I have a few that are being... Oh, yeah, I have a few that are being leveled. I mean, well, she just needs the money so I can actually level her. But like, these guys aren't as slow. I mean, obviously, just got Ifa as far as this banner, but these guys are just slow. Like, I got them to this point, but then Lan Yin came out. I'm like, oh, I want to level her because she's actually really interesting and I like her, and so I put it off. But again, it's like, oh, just extra resources go into leveling up old characters, and eventually they'll get to 90. It also helps like during times when I'm not pulling for characters. But if I'm pulling for an actual like 5-star, then all the resources go to them, and the 4 stars get pushed back to later. And like next patch, I'm getting Skirk. The patch after that, I'm not aware of who's coming out in the patch after that, so probably not. If I don't get any character in the patch after Skirk, the resources that I would normally get might just go leveling up these guys. I'm not super worried. They'll eventually get leveled up. That's why all my characters level 90. Eventually it happens. Eventually I go through a dry spell where all the characters that are being released are either reruns of characters I have or new characters that I don't particularly care for. So that's what will happen. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.